Once we have identified the shortcomings of the first option to Ani Hashem Elokechem on account of the fact that such a request was unnecessary, we either move into a fourth option, as yet not defined, or as Rashi will do, revisit an earlier option to the Ani Hashem Elokechem and attempt to deal with the shortcomings that had been identified. Those shortcomings were that the pattern for a statement of accountability is that the accountability factor should follow, not precede, the obligation. This is not the case with Vayikra 18. The Ani Hashem Elokechem accountability precedes the Arayot laws. And in this, Rashi, with his precise wording, addresses this objection. As he writes, Lefichach ba aleihem b'gzeira Ani Hashem Elokechem. Footnote 28 argues that the term ba aleihem b'gzeira, if merely to express the action of presenting to them a subset of laws known as the Gzeirot, should have been Gazar Aleihem B'Gzeirah, as would most probably be the case with respect to mitzvot in general, Tziva Aleihem. The footnote goes on to maintain that in this situation, on account of the severity of the laws that were about to be presented, from the very outset, God introduced these laws with a statement of accountability. In the words of the footnote, emphasis on the word hitchil, that the placement of the Ani Hashem Elokechem before the obligation informs us that from the very outset, nichnas le'inyan b'gzeirah, God introduced these laws in particular with the gzeirah. In this case, the gzeirah refers not to the laws that follow, but in of itself a warning of accountability that these laws must be fulfilled. The footnote goes on to point out that the words ba aleihem, upon them, against them, suggests more than a mere informing them of a set of laws. This is reflected in the translation offered by the Art Scroll. Is not that he came to them with the gzeirah, but he confronted them with these decrees. Furthermore, Rashi goes on to say, Galui v'yadur lefanav, to a God for whom there is no past, present, and future, this God knew that sofan linatek ba'arayot b'mei Ezra, that in the days of Ezra, a large segment of the population, due to economic, political circumstances of the time, possibly angst and frustration over the destruction of the temple, they would find themselves in violation of these Arayot laws, and therefore, from the very outset, Lefichach, writes Rashi, ba aleihem b'gzeirah, God confronts them with a decree, and here, as noted in the footnote, is not a prohibition against the Arayot, but rather, you need to know who it is that Ani Hashem Elokechem, du'u mi gozer aleichem. I am a dayan lipareya, I am a judge who will judge you and punish you if necessary. V'ne'eman l'shalem sachar. I am also a God who will reward those who abide by these commandments.